Hello and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today in the review box we have the Alfa Romeo 155 V6 Ti. This is a new casting from Hot Wheels introduced into Boulevard for 2022. I'm just now getting my hands on it now though. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a closer look and see if this one is worth adding into your collection. So let's get started with our casting. Just on a quick go around here, we can see it looks pretty good. Our proportions are fairly accurate. There's nothing like super distracting or anything about it. Go ahead and put it down, and we'll put the real-life comparison picture up in the top right corner there. So it does go well with the Mercedes that came out in Deutschland Design last year. I actually have misplaced it, so we won't do a size comparison with it later on. But it's probably just buried deeper in the collection. We do have these intakes casted in, lots of texturing there. This logo's even casted in, these intakes here casted in. We do have mirrors on the side over here. These vents right here are casted in. We do have plenty of body lines, as you can see, all casted in, looking fantastic. Skirt down here meets up with the base, looks great. As we make our way to the back, you can see the wing is plastic, but it's been kind of put a little piece in there because this was kind of like a two-part wing, and so up front it doesn't look like a two-part wing, but from the back it does, which is okay. We do have a few casting lines back here that look good, and as you can see, our exhaust is plastic as well. It is actually a piece of the roll cage that's on the interior there, so that's a pretty cool and nifty way of engineering it, I think. For our paint and deco, this is a real-life livery, and it actually, most of Hot Wheels' liveries that are kind of an homage are just kind of close, like we saw with the MG Metro in the previous video. This one actually is super close. I mean, we get the correct number and everything. So we've got basically a giant Alfa logo, essentially. Then we have our number 8. We've got a little Alfa Romeo logo there. Giant number 8 on top with our Alfa Romeo on the wing. And then kind of a similar thing to the side, just up front. We are missing a couple of spoilers, or a couple of sponsors and such like that. But again, it is kind of just supposed to be an homage livery. But yeah, it gets super close and it looks really good. And for the first release, I really think that this is probably the best choice. So getting a closer look at our details, we can see that our headlights are tampos. They are not like plastic or anything like that. Our logo here is also a tampo. It's very small, very hard to see anyway though. Our intakes here are tampoed on, which looks fantastic. We've got some tampos in here on these bits. Going down the side, we've got some trim around the windows. And then onto the back here, we do have our logo. We have this piece blacked out. We have a couple more little bits of detailing. And then we do have our taillights, which look fantastic. And like we mentioned earlier, we do have an exhaust, and our base is fairly detailed considering it's a race car. But the coolest thing for me is that these wheels, a lot of people don't like these kind of 6-spoke wheels, but if we looked in the pictures earlier, these actually are pretty close to the wheels that the real-life car ran. So overall, Hot Wheels did a really good job replicating this in all 3 categories. For our roll test, it is a Hot Wheels Premium, so it rolls very smoothly as you would expect. So, pros and cons time. Right out of the gate, the biggest pro, as I mentioned earlier, was that this is really accurate, especially for a Hot Wheels. Like, we're not getting mini GT levels of accuracy, but we also don't really expect that out of Hot Wheels. And for, you know, the $6.50 price tag or whatever these are now, pretty good, pretty accurate. It's got that nice heft to it that we like out of a Hot Wheels Premium. It also, as I mentioned earlier, goes well with the similar DTM style car that came out last year from Mercedes. Again, I cannot show you it next to that one, sadly, because that one's been buried in the collection the last couple of days. But I will have a similar car to show it next to. And that brings us to our cons. So the biggest con on mine is that if you look closely, you can kind of tell it has that orange peel kind of paint where the paint kind of looks like an orange peel. Now, it really only affects the paint on the top of the car for whatever reason. Then again, this could just be mine. I'm not sure if this was a common issue with this release or not, but it is something to make note of. The other kind of con that I would say is that this was a Boulevard release, and it's tough when new castings are in the Boulevard series, because if you're in an area like mine, Boulevard just never gets stocked. The Walmarts might put one of every single mix out, and if you're not there at 6 a.m. when they open, you're not getting them. So thankfully, I was able to have this one sent to me by an Instagram follower of mine. I'll go ahead and put his on the screen there. And yeah, that was super helpful. Kind of got him something he needed. He got me two things that I needed, actually. So very cool. And for some quick size comparisons, here we have it next to a few Alfa Romeos you might have in your collection, with the Hot Wheels Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale and the Hot Wheels 8C Competizione. And here we have it next to some other race cars you might have in your collection, with the Matchbox Mercedes C-Class race car, since I couldn't find the Hot Wheels, and the BMW M3 GT2. And with that, it is now time to give my overall thoughts. I'm going to give this one 9 out of 10. I was really looking forward to this one, so the struggle of not being able to find it in person was a little bit of a letdown. And then the orange peel on the paint, again, could just be mine. I'm not 100% positive if that was a common issue or not. Those both kind of take it back just a touch for me. However, with what we actually got, with a quality product that we got, it's really nice. It looks fantastic. This is a car I probably would not have wanted to buy from like a Mini GT or Tarmac Works to spend $12, $15 on it, but to get it for about the $650 price tag or through trading is a lot nicer. So I do wish the casting had gotten a little bit wider of a release, just maybe a Car Culture or something. Boulevard is tough. I think if you can find it in store, it's definitely worth picking up. You definitely want this one in your collection. If you cannot find it, I would say if you can trade for it, that'll work too. Just don't feed the scalpers. This one's not going to be worth the 20, 25, or who even knows what's probably going for on eBay. But yeah, don't feed the scalpers. If you can find it at store price or a trade for it, then by all means go for it, because it's one that you probably want in your collection. And that's all I have for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you are new, and leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts are on this particular model, and I will see you in the next video.